Punch landed.
I think we're seeing the birth of a star.
I'm telling you
the birth of a star in bare knuckle, because her technique is absolutely flawless.
All three in favor of the winner, Agnesa.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Boxing on Sundays channel. My name is Andrii and today we have a very special guest, a fighter who is not afraid of challenges and who competes both in professional boxing and in the brutal world of bare knuckle fighting. She is a super flyweight bare knuckle champion, a professional boxer with knockout victories, and a fighter who represents courage and determination. Please welcome Agnesa Kirakosian. Agnesa, thank you for joining us today. It's a real pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Is there a way you could put your speaker louder, or can you hear it?
Oh. Sounds good. I always like to understand where the journey begins. Every fighter has a story about the moment when boxing entered their life. Sometimes it's a childhood dream, sometimes it happens by accident, but that first step into the gym often changes everything. How did boxing first enter your life, and what made you fall in love with this sport?
So, I always say that boxing chose me. I didn't choose boxing because I started boxing at Glendale Community College I was 23 years old. So there was a boxing club going on, and I kept walking back and forth. And then they asked if I wanted to join. And then I asked if it was a class or a club, and they said it was a club. So I wanted to obviously join because at the time I was going through a lot. I was really angry at the time because I went through a heartbreak and some other stupid stuff that happened. But so they told me to come the next day at 12 o'clock, and I came. And ever since I threw my first punch, I was just like, what was I doing with my life before? Why didn't I do this sooner, And at that moment, I knew that I wanted to continue, and I knew that I wanted to go professional, and I wanted to be champion. And then that night, I went and I looked up women's boxing. And then I saw that one of the girls was Suzy Kantiki, and she's an Armenian champion at the time. And I was like, no way, what? She's Armenian. And I don't know, I thought that I wanted to get good and maybe fight her or something, And I guess I just started randomly. That's why I say boxing chose me. I didn't choose it, even though I always had a love for combat sports, and I grew up on Bruce Lee movies, and I wasn't really exposed to boxing at a young age. If I was, I would have probably done it sooner, but I'm glad I still started when I did. So, yeah.
Behind every successful fighter, there is usually someone who believed in them from the very beginning. Sometimes it's a coach, sometimes family, and sometimes a friend who pushed you to keep going. Who was the first person that truly believed you could become a professional fighter?
It has to be my brother. Yeah. He I think he knows me well because we grew up together and we used to fight all the time. He says that he's like, you always had it in you. He's like, every time if I ever hit you or did something annoying to you, you would have to do something 10 times worse or hit me 10 times back just to feel better. So I guess maybe he knew that, and he was the one who supported me from day one, and he always believed in me, and he used to be a cross country and track runner, so he knows how it is to like push yourself to pass other people and go to the top. Yeah.
The amateur career is extremely important for many fighters. It's where technique is developed and where athletes gain ring experience. I wanna talk about your amateur career in boxing. Many champions say that amateur boxing builds a foundation. How important was your amateur career in shaping you as a fighter?
I think, yeah, amateur career is really important. And it's important to challenge yourself and take as many fights as you can. Because honestly, like in amateurs, if you lose, I don't want to say it doesn't, well, it's not as bad as losing in pros, you know. Like my first two amateur fights were losses, the rest were wins. But the two losses that I had was against girls they were in open division, so they had more than 10 fights. Like the girl, my first fight I fought, she had over, I don't know, 40, 50 fights. I looked her up on Google the night before. I was like telling my coach, I'm like, oh my God, look, they have newspapers on her and everything. And she weighed like, I think like she was one above me, a weight class above me, but we wanted to fight and have that experience because we went as a team and we were staying there for a week. So we didn't want to just go. And also wanted to get the experience, but she should have basically beat me or like stopped me because I had only been boxing maybe a year and a half or 2 years. But we went the distance, and even though she beat me, I still felt like a winner because I fought such a good opponent and like heavier, and that gave me more confidence, even though it was a loss, if that makes sense. Um, and then the second one was whatever, and then after that, the next 11 were all wins, and they were in the first year. In 1 year, I had 11 fights. So we were driving everywhere and fighting anyone that was there and winning. It was fun.
The path in boxing is never easy. There are injuries, hard training camps, and moments when motivation can drop. But fighters who suck it are usually the ones who push through those moments. Did you ever have a moment when you thought about quitting boxing?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I did. So there was a moment, let me think, hold on. So basically, something happened where I couldn't go back to my gym that I was going to. And that time I just felt like maybe I was like, am I supposed, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to do this or whatever? And I was just in my room. I had already, like, I guess I put boxing on my YouTube channel and I was watching, I had pressed play and I was listening to some girl talk. Turns out it's Sinisa Estrada, and like at this time, like, should I even do boxing? I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. And then all of a sudden I hear her say, like, never stop believing, always keep going, don't quit. Like, I'm like, who is this girl? And I came and I looked, and guess what? Now she's my manager. She's my good friend also. So it's crazy because at that time I didn't even know her, and I was just like, and she said that, and that was the time that I guess I was thinking about quitting. And when I heard her say that, I was like, wow, like it was just the perfect time. And yeah, I even told her that story. So, yeah.
You are very well done for overcoming these difficulties. Then we talk about your pro boxing, pro career. The professional debut is a moment every fighter remembers forever. It's the night when you officially step into the professional boxing world. There is always pressure, excitement, and a lot of emotions. What did you feel when you were walking to the ring to your professional debut against Sarahi Juarez Godinez?
Oh my God, that fight, I was really, really nervous. I was scared. It was my first fight, and I didn't. I mean, I like I guess everybody gets nervous, and somebody told me like you could either use the nerves, or you let it like take over. But okay, I said that all wrong, but yeah, you get what I mean. I remember walking to the ring, and I remember just stopping her in the first 30 seconds and doing every move that my coach was like teaching me to do. I did like all the moves in 30 seconds. I did like 4 or 5 moves that we were working on. And I stopped her, but it was a beautiful feeling, like, well, not the nerve part, but like going and yeah, I guess like the nerves go away after you step into the ring and you just start the first round. But before that, it's like, oh, I hate that feeling. But yeah.
It was a cool fight. Your debut ended with a TKO victory, which is a very strong start for any professional fighter. It, it immediately shows the fans and the boxing world that you have power and confidence.
Mhm.
Did the fight go exactly according to the strategy that your team prepared?
Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah. So basically, I used all 4 moves basically. Like everything we thought we worked on, it just came out in the ring. That's yeah, so it went exactly as planned. I thought it was gonna go like at least a few rounds, but I didn't think it would be 30 seconds. But I guess it went better than planned, so
Win- Winning your first fight often changes the mentality of a young fighter. It gives confidence and motivation to continue pushing forward. That first victory is something special. How did that win influence your confidence as a professional boxer?
well, that win and all the wins and the amateurs basically helped build my confidence to know that I could keep going, but it doesn't really I never get like a big head or anything because you always have to stay humble and just know that there might be somebody just as good or better. So you always have to think like that before your fights. You never want to think, I'm gonna run over this girl because that's when you lose. I guess I learned that the hard way. But
Your second professional fight came not long after the debut. At that stage, fighters begin to understand the rhythm of professional boxing. Each fight brings new lessons. What was different in your preparation for the fight against Angelica Soto Cervantes?
so she was more established fighter, so I had to train and be more I mean I'm always disciplined and I mean I trained this I mean I guess I trained the same but a little bit more different because we knew that she was like a good opponent, so I just remember like training just as hard as the first fight. um it was so long ago, I'm trying to remember, but but yeah, I think but I remember that fight. I just remember like when I was fighting her and I just was like, I don't know what something told me like just to go for her for the liver and told me to go for the body, and then I did, and it was over. That was, I think, the second round, right? Yeah.
Another TKO victory early in your career showed that you have serious finishing ability.
Mhm.
Fans always love fighters who can end fights. At that moment, did you start realizing that knockout power could become one of your trademarks? Trademarks.
Yeah, I definitely did. But it does like some people are very like durable. I mean, if I fight my weight, as in like if I actually fight my weight, then I have knockout power. Like I've been told that I punch kind of like I as if I weigh 140, which I don't. But a lot of people say that I do have knockout power, and I guess I realized it when I first started boxing because when I was punching the mitts, they would like be like, "Whoa, like okay, like So and they're catching it. But yeah, I guess after that fight, I mean, I always knew I had knockout power, but it was cool to see it in action and to see the reaction of the opponent. Yeah.
You have a brilliant start to your career. Early victories are important for building momentum in a professional career, but they also increase expectations from fans and promoters. Did you feel extra pressure after starting your career with strong wins?
Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, pressure is comes with the sport, so that's always been there and it always will be there. Everyone has expectations. I have expectations. I always want to do my absolute best. I always want to be improving. So I mean, I guess pressure and boxing go hand in hand, so it's not really something new. Um, but yeah, you do definitely feel the pressure and the momentum and people's expectation of how you're gonna do or if you're gonna stop them or yeah, like but you just have to go in there and do your best and put all the training that you've done in momentum and action.
Your next opponent was Alondra Ballesteros Okegueda. By that time, you already had a reputation as a dangerous fighter. Every opponent starts studying your style more carefully. What challenges did this fight bring for you inside the ring?
Um, this let me remember. So it was a little, I think she was pretty good with her feet. She was moving a lot. Some people like just come forward, but um yeah, I think I just ended up yeah, like I stopped her too, right? I don't remember which one that was.
Uh,
Sorry.
uh,
Um,
four rounds TKO.
4 rounds, yeah. Tequila. I don't remember that one. I think it was just another opponent that I had to beat to go to the next. And I think yeah, that one went as planned as well. It's just the nerves and being I think I was in Jalisco, Mexico. So being at a new place. I think it went as planned though. I don't think was it too tough.
Another stoppage victory helped build your momentum even more. Winning fights convincingly can change how the boxing world views a fighter. Did you start feeling that your career was gaining real momentum at the moment?
Yeah, I definitely felt like my career was gaining a lot of momentum at the moment, and yeah, it helped me to gain a little bit of more confidence. And I guess I wanted to fight even more. Yeah.
Your your fourth fight against Maria Sardo Ochoa, winning by TKO in sixth round. By the time you faced Maria Sardo Ochoa, you already had several wins and growing confidence, but every fight still carries risks. How did you approach that fight mentally?
Um, just like I prepare for any other fight, I always just think about the person that's in front of me and nobody else. I guess I think about this is might be my last fight. Like every fighter, when we go into a fight, we don't know how it's gonna go, so we kind of just we think of it as like our last battle, but not really. You know what I mean? Like it's just yeah, I prepared. Yeah, we prepared to die in there, so you go in there not knowing what's gonna happen, and you have to prepare for the best. You have to prepare for each fight as if they're better than you or as just the same. So it was just like another fight for me. Yeah.
You are a real knockout machine. That fight also ended with a TKO victory. It showed that you were developing a consistent finishing ability. Did you feel in full control during that fight?
Um, you never really feel like you're in full control, but yeah, I guess. I mean, I felt like I was getting the better of her, and that I was dodging and moving, and um, I guess yeah, I just did my best.
The fight against Perla Lomeli went the distance and ended with a split decision. This was a different type of challenge compared to your previous fights. How difficult was it to go through all rounds in that fight?
Well, yeah, that fight I remember better than all the other ones you asked about. That one was crazy because that was for the belt. So that one, we fought at 118, which is my walk around weight. Like I walk around at 118. So, uh, that one, that's why I can't get a knockout or anything with that. But that was a difficult fight, but I guess I learned a lot in that fight. It was just a lot of things I was kind of doing wrong. I made the fight harder than it had to be. I wish I listened to my coach more and did like as planned, but I still got the victory and I like fought like I went there because it was in her hometown and the audience, everybody was there for her. Vanessa Lomeli, right? Okay, yeah. And everybody was cheering.
Perla Lomeli.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody was like cheering for her, and I don't know, it was cool, but I feel like I gained the crowd too afterwards. Everyone was like taking pictures, coming up to me. It was cool. But it was a really hard fight. My head was hurting after.
Perla Lomeli. This opponent was very difficult,
Hmm.
invincible to the fight with you, and undefeated.
Yeah.
Split decision are always tense moments for fighters. When the judges are reading the scorecards, anything can happen. What was going through your mind while waiting for the decision?
Oh my God. I was scared because I didn't know because it was her hometown. I was like, are they gonna rob me like right now? Like I was like, please God. I was praying like, come on, please let me win. I was like, because I knew I did a lot. I felt like I won, but I didn't know if they were gonna like steal it because you never know how the judges see it, you know. Um, but definitely like I was like, okay, they were fair. Thank God, you know. Yeah.
Against Ashley Cervantes, you returned to a knockout victory. After a close fight previously, this must have felt important. Did you enter that fight with a goal to make a statement?
Yeah, definitely. I always want to make a statement every time I step into that ring. Um, I remember that fight, that was my pro debut. So this was the first time my family and my friends were there. I had to sell tickets and it was a lot of nerves going into that fight. And I obviously like I wanted to stop her and I want like I know some people that fought her and like didn't stop. I think yeah, they didn't stop her. They went the distance, but I wanted to be that girl that stops her and but she was tough. That girl was really tough. She was hard to stop.
And your last boxer fight against Kumora Young Badilio Amaya. Your
Hmm.
fight with Kumora Young Badilio Amaya ended in your first professional loss.
Hmm.
Losses are always difficult, but they often teach the biggest lesson. Is your boxing career on pause? Is it finalized? Tell me about, please, this.
Yeah, that last fight was you remember how I told you shouldn't look past your opponents? Yeah, that one I did. Basically I had food poisoning literally 3 days before that, so I was not feeling good even during, I don't even know why I did that fight. I didn't even have to do that. 2 weeks after that, I had the bare knuckle fight in Dubai. The whole time I was fighting, like I wasn't even present. Like I was thinking first, like I had lost a lot of weight too. And but no excuses, I lost, so, and I learned a lot from that after that, like I think it was not that it was good that I lost, but because I lost that, I feel like I won all my bare knuckle fights after, which was 2 weeks after. So imagine like having to deal with like having a loss and then snapping back in 2 weeks, and then yeah, and then going and to do bare knuckle. But right now, my boxing is so boxing is, I am gonna go back to boxing and make a big comeback, a big splash. I want to come back as a whole new fighter. Um, yeah, you guys are gonna see, like everyone's gonna see something really special and new. Um, yeah, I'm really excited for that. But yeah, that was sucks that was my last boxing fight. Yeah.
Losses are always difficult, but they often teach the biggest lessons. What was the biggest lesson you learned from that fight?
The biggest lesson I learned from that fight, first of all, don't eat sushi 3 days before the fight. Second of all, yeah, just don't look past the fight. Don't schedule two fights right back to back. Um, don't look past the opponents. Don't, yeah, always think of them as a threat instead of like an easy win. That's what I thought, and there we go. That's my loss. But yeah, it's to never underestimate your opponent and mm, to be focused, to be present when you fight. Don't think about like the next fight or other things. Yeah.
I want to see your return to boxing. Your fights are magical,
Oh,
but
thank you.
many great fighters say that losses make them stronger. They
Mhm.
force you to improve and come back better. How did that defeat change you as a fighter and as a person?
Mm. Let me think. Yeah, I was just so down on myself, but it taught me to not stay there. Even though you lose, or don't stay at the bottom. Always like get yourself back up, train harder. Um, yeah, it taught me to never underestimate a fight or fighter. Every time I step into the ring, it's me and that person only, and nothing else matters. So it's all about winning. And um, yeah, I just had to like let your hands go, trust your instinct. I guess it changed me as let me think. God, I hate that loss. I wish I had a perfect career and didn't have any losses, but it taught me to never want to lose again. That's what it taught me. Yeah.
Next, we will talk about your career in bare knuckle fighting. A brilliant career. Bare knuckle boxing is considered one of the toughest and most brutal forms of combat sports. Many professional boxers never dare to try it because the risk and intensity are much higher. But you decided to step into that world and test yourself without gloves. What motivated you to enter bare knuckle fighting for the first time?
So for a whole year, I couldn't get any boxing fights. And then my coach at the time was already um, like in bare knuckle, and he would always ask me about it. And so I had another friend who asked me, he said he was gonna do it. I was like, no, don't do that. Oh my God, are you crazy? What are you gonna, that's weird. And I remember one time I was just watching YouTube and then I saw like I was like, what? They don't have gloves? And I was just like watching, I was like, no way, this is crazy. What is this? I'm like, are they nuts? And then so basically the opportunity came and so I told you I couldn't get any fights for a year. I was getting frustrated. I was just training super hard. And then my coach, he was like, do you want to do bare knuckle? They're offering you like a 4 fight deal and then you could fight for the title. And I was like, what? I could fight for the title? No way. And then they said that the first fight's going to be in Dubai. I was like, what? Free trip to Dubai and a title? Okay, let's do it. And so that's how it started. That's how it happened. Yeah.
Fighting without gloves change everything.
Mm.
Distance, defense, punching power, and even mentality. Many fighters say the sport becomes more strategic and more dangerous at the same time. What
Mhm.
was the biggest technical adjustment you had to make when switching from boxing to bare knuckle fighting?
So with gloves, you can block like a lot of the punches. You just go like this and you block with big gloves on. But with bare knuckle, like you kind of have to create your own different defense because like you have to like actually bring this all the way up here to cover this and or like I would go like that, push it away. Just you're more open to punches. And they could just slip through, so you have to kind of the main thing I worked on was my defense and also my footwork because your footwork is your biggest defense. If you're not in reach to get touched or hit, then you're good. But I think that was the main things that we worked on. Um, but you also have to strengthen your knuckles too. But I kind of did that in the fights. I didn't really do too much strengthening. But mentally, like going in there, it's just everyone, it just when you watch a video of it, it's like, oh, okay. But when you're actually in there, it's completely different because it hurts to hit, it hurts to get hit. Um, yeah, it's brutal. It's crazy. And even after the fights, it's not like, let's say I win a fight, I want to go celebrate with my friends. Nope, go to the hospital, check your face, check your hands. It's not fun. And then it takes like weeks to recover from like all the hits and people hanging on your neck and all that. So it's just, yeah, I rambled. Yeah.
PK Pro debut versus Mariana Camara. Your bare knuckle debut was against Mariana Camara. Debuts are always special because they show
Mhm.
how a fighter adapts to a completely new environment. In bare
Mhm.
knuckle, the atmosphere and the pressure are also very different. What emotions did you feel before stepping into the ring for your first bare knuckle fight against Mariana Camara?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. First of all, I had sprained my ankle a week before the fight. And so imagine 2 weeks before I lose the fight, then a week before I sprained my ankle while going running. And then I couldn't walk for 2 days. I didn't know if I had to cancel the fight or whatever. Um, Wednesday comes, third day, I was in the plane like limping around. And then I had to just ice and so imagine like trying to go into a fight not knowing how your foot's gonna I thought my foot was gonna go like that in the fight and I was just gonna like she was just gonna beat me. But it was so scary, like just stepping into that before I was like I looked all scared and this guy was like, you're meant to be here. You were born for this. I was like, yeah, yeah. So I had to go in the bathroom and talk to myself in the mirror. And um yeah, but it was scary. Like I didn't know how my foot was gonna react. It was my first time with no gloves. But I always get scared and nervous before and but I knew I was gonna win, even though all that.
You motivate many with your performances. You talk about your path in an interesting way. Your debut fight ended with a clear victory on the judges' scorecards that showed that your boxing skills translate well into bare knuckle competition. Did you feel comfortable in the bare knuckle rules right from the first fight?
Yeah, I feel like the rules were just similar to boxing, so it wasn't much different. Just adjusting to like the first round is after the first round, I just that's when you're like, oh my God, what am I in? What am I doing? Um, but yeah, I adjusted to the rules but like it was just adjusting to like she was strong. That girl, she was good. She was throwing, she was fighting, and it was hard to like I thought it was like because I had a night before I had a dream that um we were that I was fighting some girls and they couldn't touch me. I was like Matrix. I was like, and so whenever I was fighting her first round, I went to the corner. I was like, oh my God, I'm like out, and I was like, I thought I wasn't gonna get hit at all, since my dream, you know. But it was I had to adjust fast and just the good thing is the adrenaline takes over where like when you're fighting you don't feel the pain as much until after. And even my foot, I didn't really feel it like bothering me or anything in there. I had just put the KT tape on, but I was able to move around and do my thing, so it was good.
You moved so much as a Matrix, Vasil Lomachenko.
Oh yeah, I try to watch him and learn from him too, so thank you. It's a compliment.
Many fighters say that after their first bare knuckle fight, they start respecting the sport even more. The
Mhm.
pain factor and precision become extremely important. What was the biggest lesson you learned from your debut bare knuckle fight?
Mm. First, the biggest lesson I learned in my debut. What did I learn? I learned a lot. Yeah, I guess I learned what it feels like to fight with your bare hands instead of gloves. And that I couldn't, yeah, I learned to, what did I learn? That footwork is the key, which I already knew, but that I had like knockout power, you know? I mean, I guess that because all the other ones, it was a TKO, but it wasn't, I never really knocked someone down with like punches like that, like in that fight. Um, that was cool. Like I think I knocked her down like 4 times. I'm not sure if it was exactly how many times, but that's when I learned I did have some knockout power and that I have that I can step into the occasion and I can push myself and I can go to another country and take the win even yeah after like even with like basically I think I learned to like trust God uh and with my fights and just with injuries and just to know that I could do certain things even like if I think I can't. Yeah.
Your second bare knuckle fight was against Jessica Link. By that moment, you already had experience in the sport.
Mhm.
That usually always fighters to feel more relaxed and confident. Did you approach the fight against Jessica Link differently compared to your debut?
Yeah, because she was a taller fighter. She was, I think, like 5'9", 5'8", or something. I'm not sure exactly, but she's tall. This was the first time she was coming down in my weight, 115, which is still too high for me. Uh, I should be fighting way lower. But yeah, like I prepared to fight a taller opponent instead of yeah, like the other girl was more closer to my height. I knew I couldn't really like knock her down or anything like that because she was much bigger and like um but yeah, I prepared hard like the same way I mean I prepare hard but like differently, because she was taller. Um but that fight surprised me too because I thought that it was going to be easy because like I don't know, I was watching her fights and stuff and I was like, okay, well, sorry, but I was like, oh, she sucks. And then fight day comes, she was actually pretty good. I was like, damn, she got better. She had her punches were more sharper. But like all the other fights that I watched wasn't really like that thing. And even though she was taller, I thought it was gonna be an easy fight. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. But when I was in the ring, I was like, oh my God, how do I hit her? And then I just had to just step again, just step to the occasion and just go for the kill as much as I could. I think she was probably more shocked because I'm much smaller. She probably thought it was going to be easy too. And yeah, it was intense.
You add with every fight, you are progressing. Now you are world superfly champion.
Mhm.
That fight also ended in a victory for you.
Yeah.
Winning two fights in a row in bare knuckle is a strong statement. At that moment, did you start thinking about fighting for a championship title?
Well, I thought about fighting for a championship title when I started doing bare knuckle.
Yeah.
So I already knew that I was gonna get that opportunity, and that's the Jessica Link fight was a title eliminator. So there was two girls that were fighting each other, and then if I beat her, I would go on to fight Shelby. Um, and so yeah, I was thinking about that, and that's why I wanted to win that fight so bad, and I wanted to be the champion, and that was part of it, that Link fight.
Next, we will talk about the top of your career, a pleasant moment. World title fight versus
Mhm.
Shelby Cannon.
Yeah.
Your third bare knuckle fight was the biggest one so far, a world
Mhm.
title fight against Shelby Cannon. The fight took place at the Florida State Fairgrounds Hall in Tampa, and the
Mhm.
Police Gazette World Super Flyweight title was on the line. How
Mhm.
did you feel when you learned that your third fight would already be a world championship opportunity?
I was happy, I was grateful. It was a long time coming. But that's kind of why I did bare knuckle is to get the title. And yeah, it was awesome to know that I could fight it for the title and to have that victory before. Um, yeah, it was a special moment.
Title fights bring a completely different level of pressure and attention. Fighters know that everything they worked for can change in one night.
Mhm.
Did you change anything in your training camp for such an important fight?
Yeah, I definitely worked. Like I was training 3 times a day for that fight. I was like really nervous. Um, I knew that she liked to come in. Like, oh no, I think she thought that I was gonna just come in at her, which that's what I did to Jessica Link, which I shouldn't have. But yeah, I guess I worked a lot on my footwork and traps. We made a lot of traps we like for her to run into, and I didn't step into it unless I needed to. Yeah, but I would be training like 3 times a day. Like I was going crazy for that fight because I was really scared and like shoot, it was just yeah, I was nervous. I knew she was gonna be really strong and bigger than me from all the other girls. They were all bigger. especially in bare knuckle. But yeah, I just did like focused on doing everything correctly and not rushing and being patient. Yeah.
You are great. Well done. Shelby
Thank
Cannon
you.
is known as a tough and experienced fighter. Preparing for an opponent like that requires serious strategy. What was the main strategy your team prepared for the fight with Shelby Cannon?
Just to trap her, like not to rush in and to be patient and wait for her to fall into the traps. And then just the footwork to get away when she does come in. There was other things we did, but I kind of didn't do it. But yeah.
The fight was competitive and went all rounds. In
Mhm.
championships fights, endurance and discipline are extremely important. At what moment in the fight did you feel that victory could be yours?
It was okay. There's this kind of gross, but I did this. It was when I think I went like this, and there was like blood on my nose, and then I was like, why doesn't she have any blood? And I marked her like as a target, and I was like, okay. After that, I knew like I'm gonna like and oh, also that's when I started to go all crazy and started to move and stuff. That was the second round, middle of second round, and then when I dropped her when I dropped her, I was like, okay, we're even now. Because I feel like she took the first round because I don't know, I was still kind of like, oh, what are we doing? And then I was like, oh yeah, she's trying to like kill me. She's trying to take my head off. Okay, I need to wake up. And then so I think that when I dropped her, and then I was just like, okay, now we're even. Now we start. And then each round, I feel like I came stronger and better as the rounds went, and I just started to get the timing more, and I just knew that I was gonna win. Like each round, I was just like messing her up. It was fun.
According to the judges' scorecards, you won the fight by unanimous decision. Two
Mhm.
judges scored it 57-56, and one judge scored it 58-55. What was going through your mind when the judges were announcing the scorecards?
Um, I feel like I knew I won, so I didn't like. I don't know. I don't even listen to the numbers. I was just waiting for them to put my hand up. I just knew that like I took that fight. Like there's no way. And I feel like everybody saw it. So I don't think it's like I don't know what she was saying. It could have gone either way. I'm like, what? Go watch it again. Like what are you watching? What are you watching? But yeah, yeah, I was just like I think I was in pain because I had broken my hand. So I don't know, I just at that moment I was just wanting to like win and leave it like and go and like hurt in peace. Because it was just so painful. Everything was painful. I didn't know what to ice. My face, my hand, everything was just hurting. But I just wanted to hear my name, I guess.
Winning a world champions is one of the biggest achievements for any fighter. It
Mhm.
represents years of work, sacrifices, and dedication. What did it mean for you personally to become the Police Gazette World Super Flyweight Champion?
Um, it meant a lot because like I worked so hard and I've been training for years, and finally I was recognized for my skill and and I finally won. And I always when I first started the sport of boxing, like I wanted to make history, and I guess finally I did. And I did bare knuckle so I could win the world title, and I did. And it just meant a lot, and but it's not the end. I still have more to do.
Champions often say that winning the belt changed their career. it brings new opportunities and bigger fights. How
Mhm.
did your life change after becoming a world champion?
Well, a lot of recognition and just a lot of love from the fans or supporters. Yeah, I got like basically recognition, but it changed a lot just in but the thing is that because I broke my hand and I haven't fought yet, so it kind of threw off the momentum. It didn't really like let me keep going, as in bring more fights and more opportunities, all that. I feel like that's gonna happen with these next fights that I'm gonna going back to boxing because it just took forever to heal and just yeah, so but it's coming.
Bare knuckle fighting is gaining more and more popularity
Hmm.
worldwide. Fans are fascinated by its intensity and au- authenticity. Do you believe bare knuckle fighting will become as popular as boxing in the future?
Yeah, I feel like it already is. You know, it already has gained a lot of popularity. Like a lot of people know about it now than before. Um, but yeah, it could, because it's exciting. A lot of knockouts. Um, yeah, there's so many knockouts, and it's fun to watch. So yeah, definitely.
Some fighters prefer boxing, others fall in love with bare knuckle fighting. Both sports require different skills and mental preparation. Which
Mhm.
sport do you feel represents your true fighting style more, boxing or bare knuckle? Talk me please about your style.
Mhm. Um, I think, well, I used to be more like a fighter where I just fought, but now I'm learning more like how to be a boxer. And now putting both together, I think I'm more made for boxing than bare knuckle because I feel like bare knuckle, like it's just you're prone to injuries and um like you could break your hand, draw. Um it's just like boxing is a little bit, it's not more safe because you're still like the impact of the punch, it's more internal and all that, and you could hit harder with gloves on. So but I think for me, my style, it's more going to be boxing, more grace, more movement. With bare knuckle, it's kind of a decorate it's a kind of like it becomes a street fight no matter what, like basically I feel like somehow it does become, you can't really do too much because you end up being in a war, you know, it always becomes a war somehow. But with boxing you could box, move, there's level of skill you need to have, um but they're both of them, you just have to be skilled either way. But I think I'm going towards boxing more. Yeah.
Becoming a world champion always raises expectations from fans. People start looking at you as one of the faces of the sport, bare
Mhm.
knuckle. What goals do you set for yourself now after becoming a bare knuckle world champion?
Well, now I want to be a boxing world champion as well. So I want to get the titles in boxing and go for the best girls that are there now. I want to fight the best. Obviously, I am going back to the sport, so I would have to build my way up again. Um, but I'm ready to do that, and I think that it's like they're gonna see a whole new fighter. Mm.
And in the final part of our interview, we will talk about you as a person. You become more popular with each fight. You are charismatic. Every Every fighter grows up watching someone in the sport who inspires them. Sometimes it's a champion whose style you admire, and sometimes it's someone whose mentality motivates you. Those early inspiration often shape the way fighters develop their own style. Who were your biggest boxing idols when you were growing up?
So we are really blessed because we have so many good role models, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, Lomachenko, uh, Triple G. We have Duran. We have Roy Jones, Mayweather. We have so many good boxers that we can look up to. You know, like Sinisa, my friend, and yeah, Sergio Mora. Everybody that like I look up to them and I look at their fights. I try to learn as much as I can from each fighter. Um, yeah, like I want to bring old school boxing back, you know, like I love watching the old school boxers and the way they fought and they were not afraid and I mean maybe they were, but they were just so good in the ring and the best fought the best. Nobody was skipping opponents or anything and everybody was throwing a lot of punches. They weren't trying to win just by like running around, you know? I mean, yeah, so we have a lot of fighters that I look up to. Those are the main ones. But yeah, I learn a lot from each fighter and their mentality too, you know, and even oh yeah, Crawford too. Yeah, there's so many good fighters.
Many, many fighters grow up watching legends of the sport and imagining what it would be like to meet them one day.
Mhm.
Those champions often shape the mentality and dreams of young athletes. Sometimes the biggest inspiration comes not only from watching their fights, but also from hearing their stories and experience. If you had the
Mhm.
opportunity to sit down and have a long conversation with one of your boxing idols, who would you choose and what would you most like to ask them?
Let me think. I only get one?
If
Maybe.
if you had the opportunity to sit
Yeah.
down and have a long conversation with one of your boxing idols,
Maybe Mike Tyson.
oh,
Yeah. I
And
wanna
and what would you most like to ask Mike?
how did he knock out everyone so fast? What is he thinking? Like what is he thinking before he goes into the ring? Um maybe Sugar Ray too. Just I would ask about his moves, have them teach me some stuff, you know? Yeah.
Mike Tyson and Sugar Ray Leonard are legends. Music music can play a big role in preparing mentally for
Mhm.
competition. Many fighters listen to specific songs before walking to the ring.
Mhm.
What kind of music motivates you before a fight?
Before fight, right before. Okay, so basically like the night before and the day before is like more like worship music, and then the day of I listen to like motivational speeches with some music. I guess like what do I like sometimes I do like rap music, but then also like EDM, like upbeat stuff. Um yeah, I think yeah, that's probably it.
Cool choice. You are a music lover.
Yeah. No, yeah, I love
Fans,
music.
fans often see fighters only on fight night, but
Mhm.
behind every fight there are months and years of hard work that
Yeah.
people don't always see. What is the hardest part of being a professional fighter that fans usually don't realize?
I feel like the hardest part about being a professional boxer or fighter is like having to deal with like injuries and training and sparring with injuries and not like taking any like days off because you can't. And I feel like that's probably the hardest. And also like when you can't get a fight or it takes too long or if a fight falls through, those are probably the hard things. Also like learning new stuff, adjusting to a new style, that's pretty hard too. Like because you're like even though you're champion, you're winner, whatever, it doesn't matter. I feel like you're still a student at the end of the day. You're still learning from zero and you're humbled every day because it's just so much to learn and the more you learn, the more there's room to learn and improve. And so it's the hard parts is just mentally staying positive, not like, well, that's sometimes it gets hard and just you just have to stay positive and know that your opportunity is going to come and you are going to get those big fights even if you haven't fought in a while or you've been injured for so long. And but you just have to keep believing and knowing that it will happen.
Some athletes draw inspiration not only from boxing, but from other sports as well.
Mhm.
Great champions from different disciplines can influence your mentality and work ethic. Are there athletes from other sports who inspire you?
Yeah, I mean, from like UFC, bare knuckle. I mean, sometimes I watch like hockey or like basketball. Yeah, other sports like, I mean, basketball like Kobe, like he's mentality, like Mamba mentality. He had that. Um, yeah, just in general, just watching just UFC fighters or just yeah, they all motivate me and anybody that's doing really well in their sport, just pushing themselves like Michael Jordan. Yeah, it was Jordan. Yeah, Jordan. But yeah, like I guess yeah, they all motivate me just to do better and to hone in on my craft. Yeah.
Oh, Michael Jordan is one of the greatest sportsmen of all time.
Hmm.
Many fighters study other champions to improve their skills. Watching fights and analyzing movements is a big part of development. Is there a boxer today whose style you particularly enjoy watching?
Yeah, I like watching Crawford, Mayweather, um from now. Yeah. Who else? I was saying Triple G and then yeah, but he retired, so
Triple
yeah.
G, Crawford, and Floyd, they ended their career.
Oh, true. So right now probably like oh Terrence Crawford did too. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Um, let me think. So like
maybe
right now,
Shakur Stevenson.
he's good. But I don't know if I like his style that much. Uh, let me think. Who else? Like right now at the moment, I don't know. Hmm. Uh, Shakur Stevenson. Who's like
Nobody.
nobody? Yeah, I mean, damn, all the good ones are tired. No, I'm just kidding. Who else? Trying to think. Damn, all the good ones did retire. I can't think of anyone right now. Sorry.
Canelo Alvarez.
Oh yeah, Canelo, he's really good. Yeah. Canelo, he's okay. I mean, let me think. I don't really have like a favorite, I guess, right now. Yeah.
Every fighter remembers the hardest punch they have ever taken. Those moments test only the body but also the fighter's heart. What was the hardest punch you have ever received in your career? Hardest punch.
Hardest punch that I've received
Yeah.
in my career. I think it had to be Sanisa Estrada. I call her Hammer Hands because I feel like when I'm not looking, she takes out a hammer and like hits me or something. That's what it feels like. I think it was one time we were like sparring and it was like a while back. I was still an amateur. I ran into her right hand and I think I had a concussion for like a minor concussion or something for a whole week or yeah, for a while, for a month or something. But I think that she's like that was hard. She hits hard.
What did you feel? Was that the state of groggy?
Well, at first when you get hit with a big punch, for me, I hear like a in my head, I hear like everything slows down for a second and I hear like a dubstep song. Like it's like and then when I went to class like the next day, everything was like bright. Like the whole it was bright and everyone was extra annoying that day. Like everyone was just too loud. I had to like go to the bathroom and be like, something's wrong, I need to leave. And then I went to the gym and my coach, he turned on the lights and I was like, wait, can you turn that off? And I was jumping. He's like, I think you have a concussion. You need to go home. And then I went and I looked up all the symptoms and then I just ate the right foods and stuff to recover. But that was like a long time ago, like when I was an amateur. Um, but it's the hard punches. Like I guess like bare knuckle is hard too. Like just fighting the last, yeah, any of the bare knuckle fights, those are like hard punches. Ugh, yeah.
You are very strong that you withstood such strong blows. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. I got a strong head.
Yes. On the other side of the story are the punches you deliver. Knockouts are one of the most exciting moments in combat sports. Which victory in your career felt the most satisfying?
The most satisfying victory. I mean, I don't know. I never thought about that because they're all satisfying, you know? All of them. Winning is just feels good. Feels great. Maybe the last fight or the fight before that. Maybe the Jessica Link fight. I'm not sure.
Women's boxing has grown significantly over the past decade. More fans, and bigger fights are appearing every year. How do you see the future of women's boxing?
Yeah, so yeah, women's boxing is the future. I feel like it's right now they have the MVP and then they're having an all girls fights. That's never happened before, you know. I mean, until they came around, right? I think. Yeah, I think it's getting bigger now. It's the best time to be in women's boxing. Like before, whenever it was in the beginning, I think it was like Sanisa, Michaela, and Clarissa, like all, they were like paving the way and they had a hard time like finding opponents or just fights and yeah, so now we're gonna have that like given to us, you know, and they paved the way, so thanks to everyone before us. But yeah, it's gonna get huge. It's the right time.
Fans around the world follow fighters not only because of their skills, but also because of their personalities. Authenticity and character are very important in modern sports. How
Mhm.
would you describe yourself as a person outside the ring?
Oh, okay. I would describe myself, I guess I'm really mean in the ring, but I'm super nice outside, like too nice outside. I gotta like stop being so nice. But yeah, I feel like I'm a good friend, kind. I like to be helpful. Um, like a family person. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm just yeah. I don't know. I guess you have to ask my friends and family. Yeah. I think I mean I like myself. I think I try to be a good person as much as I can, and I try to help others but yeah, to motivate and inspire if I can or in any way I can. So that's what it's about. It's all like life is about relationships and being good with everybody around you. And that's when you feel good and happy and yeah, and to just push yourself and be better than you were yesterday.
And final question. Throughout this interview, we talk about your journey from the first steps in boxing to becoming a champion in bare knuckle fighting. Your story includes victories, difficult fights, sacrifices, and moments that shaped you as a fighter and as a person. Many young athletes and fans will watch this interview and look up to your path in the sport. If you could send one final message to your fans and to young fighters who dream about becoming champions one day, what would it be?
Well, whatever your dream is, whether you want to be a professional athlete or a boxer or anything you want to do, I feel like there's going to be times where it's going to feel like super impossible, whether it's health-wise or in general, but I feel like if that's your dream and it's in your heart and you really want to push and become that and do that, I feel like you can do it. If it's in your heart and you see it like in your mind and you work hard at it, no matter what happens, don't give up, and just keep pursuing it, even if it feels like impossible. Just keep pursuing it and working hard towards it, and yeah, and it will happen. Don't stop believing. Yeah.
Agnesa, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. It was truly an honor to hear your story, your experiences inside and outside the ring, and the journey that led you to becoming a world champion. Fighters like you show what dedication, courage, and hard work really look like. On behalf of everyone watching on Boxing on Sundays channel, I want to say a huge thank you for this conversation. We really appreciate your openness and the time you shared with us. We wish you great success in your future fights, strong health, and many more victories ahead. Agnesa, thank you a lot for this interview.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate all the really good questions and for your enthusiasm about the sport and boxing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Have a good one.